So as the credits roll on the first episode of season 8 of Survivor, I'm joined by two very seasoned Survivor players, Nicole and Rob. Great to have you on this live stream. It's the SANDTON Times recap, and it's our Survivor Council that will be giving us some expert insights into this first episode and hopefully the season. Rob and Nicole, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us. This is exciting. What a show.
Thanks, Alex. Nothing but a pleasure.
Yeah, Rob, and Nicole, we briefly touched base as we came on, and she said, wow, what an episode. Rob, did you feel the same way?
Epic. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better start than that. Beautiful blindside.
So, yeah, I mean, what's your vibe about having this Survivor on our very own shores? It's quite different than having it sort of on some sort of tropical island with turtles and, parrots flying around.
You can take it, Nicole.
Yeah, I was nervous about it, but I'm loving it. It's such a cool, proudly South African coastal vibe. And the production is world class and on our local shores. I think it's incredible. I'm loving it. And all the dramatic shots of our snakes.
Yeah, fantastic. I mean, the location's epic, and with what they had, they did very well. I actually do prefer this, shooting it way far away, because you feel more like it's out of the blue, but actually in your backyard. However, the way they've shot it, they really, at least to the viewers, it feels like it's somewhere exotic. Love it.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, your season set quite a standard in terms of, I think, survivors in South Africa. So it was a hard one to beat, and I think the jury's still out to see how they carried through for this season. But I think they've had a really good start. And if you're watching this on Facebook and on YouTube, please feel free to ask questions in the comment box, and we'll pick up on those as we go along. We've got quite a few things to unpack. So we've got the Vuna tribe and the Zamba tribe that were put together at random. So they had to choose the names and then kind of find themselves. What's in your mind, Rob? Let's maybe kick off with you.
Sorry, I don't think my connection is so stable because I just didn't hear the question. Please say that again.
No stress, Rob. I'm just saying, any castaways that stand out from this first episode?
Yes. Well, look, definitely it was Jason's episode. No question about that. He very quickly put himself in a sort of leadership position, which I could see. I mean, everyone knows you just try to keep your head down that early in the game, especially if you are physically capable. There's no need to prove yourself. The tribe will keep you there regardless, because you are an asset physically. But if you're not, then you have to try and prove yourself. He was sitting in a position where he had to just do nothing and he would have been fine. But he tried to obviously take control of the tribe too soon, and that's what happened there. But the main character that stands out for me is definitely Chappies. I'm expecting a lot of good things from that man.
Yeah, it's always a thing, right? Standing out too early or too soon in a show. Nicole, anyone that stood out from your side?
I'm very interested by the whole cast and the dynamic. These guys are here. They mean business. They are not playing. I think in our season, for some reason, I know that especially on our tribe, there was a very strong family element. So everybody was very committed to one another, looking out for each other and initially voting off the weaker players. But it's almost as if, we're not looking at the strength of the tribe right now. We're trying to get the strong guys out the way, any threats out the way early on. A lot of strategic gameplay and very blatantly. I don't think there's any loyalties. A couple of people stood out for me. I have some favorites. I am not going to lie. I definitely like Chappies. He's got such a calm, cool energy, but also very smart. So he's watching the whole game. His comment about the fire, his tribe having fire, Jason's tribe not having fire was very clever, and developing a really cool family element in his tribe. And I also liked Anisu, if I'm saying that right. The yoga girls, they are they look like they're going to be a strong and formidable team, and also very strong social game. but possibly a dangerous social game, maybe playing a few too many people. But we'll see.
Yeah, I saw that Yoga Alliance kind of kicking off quite quickly, and then a lot of people scrambling to form an alliance. I mean, is that kind of the way to do it?
Rob, teach us your ways.
Look, I don't think it's smart to do exactly what Jason did. Spoke to a bit too many people, started trying to dominate conversations a bit too much, starting to try to lead. Sometimes the best thing you can do in those situations, there's so many people there. I mean, there's 10 people per tribe. Everyone's looking for a target. And the moment you stand out, you automatically will become someone as a target. So the best thing to do is just chill, follow the lead. People will, I mean, they will look for something wrong. And the more you talk, the more you're out there busy making noise, the more they'll find something wrong. So that is the only mistake that he made. He should have just chilled. First day, relax.
Right. We had a question Oh, carry on. Sorry, Nicole.
Sorry, I want to add to what Rob's saying, because I think what Rob brought that we were all unaware of at the time was this cool, calm energy of a leader, but who's not forcing himself on as a leader. And I think maybe that's the mistake that Jason made. I was so hoping he could hang out with us longer because I loved him as a character. I was even devastated with that one, seriously. But I'm really liking Smash. He's got a very similar energy, that cool, calm leadership energy.
Well, look, I mean, you got to hold out till almost the very end of Survivor. And I think if you get kicked out right on day one and you've literally just sort of had your first bad night's sleep, I mean, it must be devastating.
Tragic, especially if you are such a fan of the game, especially if this is such a big deal and you want to be the biggest, best player ever. And there was that potential there.
Yeah. Now, one of the questions that came through was, did we see Keon's alliance Sean voting for her? I don't think I saw that. I'm not sure if you saw it.
Keon.
Oh.
Yeah, Keon. Yeah.
Yes. What about
it? Said, did we see Sean voting for her?
I missed that.
Oh yes, I didn't. You see, my problem as well is I still don't know the Castaways properly. So when it comes to names, there's not a lot that I actually know. Yeah. So I still need to learn.
We might have to rewatch that episode again. I don't actually remember seeing that either. So, all right. Well, we'll check that out. Okay, let's have a look here.
With that vote that just happened as well is that battle lines were just drawn right now. Whoever you voted with, that will affect your game going forward. So it's very important who you choose, especially so early in the game, because now battle lines are drawn.
I really love the way that they all sort of. I love the way that Sean came back in the final tribal and fought for himself, and it reminded me a lot of Sipe Rob fighting right in the beginning when we didn't know her properly. I think we were so grateful that we didn't vote her off. We almost made such a massive mistake. But just someone who kind of spoke their mind, who was misunderstood, and cleared the air a little bit. I think it was very smart to do that.
Yeah.
Well, here we go. Laurie says Sean did vote for her. So there you have an answer to the earlier question. And then Nicole, here's a good one. Amaret's asking, who do we think is the underdog to watch out for?
Ooh, I actually made notes, guys.
Oh, good.
Okay. Nice.
I said this is serious, guys.
Yeah, absolutely, man. This is the digest.
I would actually say one of the underdogs would be Tyson. I think Tyson definitely hasn't had his time on air, and he's also very quiet and calm. So he's holding back a lot, which could cost him, because we've seen people hold back too early, too much. But maybe that's a good strategy.
Yeah.
Rob, did you feel that Sean was a bit too vocal during Tribal Council? Do you think that could maybe cause a little bit of tension for future Tribal Councils?
Yeah, like once again, he did stand out a bit. However, I'm glad that he's showing that he's not a pushover. That also can be equally as important. So people are attracted to strength, and he did show strength there by being able to speak the way he did. So yeah, it's pros and cons to everything. I don't think it was necessarily detrimental to his game.
Here's another interesting observation somebody's just come up with. Mesobotse, saying that everyone started approaching Anesu for an alliance, which was also quite interesting. I didn't really think she was sort of the go-to person for alliances, but it seemed like everybody was keen to ally with her. What do you think is the reasoning behind that? Maybe Nicole, maybe you kick off with that.
I think that's such a great question, and it's a throwback to our season as well. It's an energy thing, Alex. And obviously there's the yoga. She's a very successful doctor. She has this calm, confident energy. It's not in your face. It's not arrogant, and it's definitely not nervous. Like we saw so much nervous tension from Dino, and even some from Rainier. But I think that energy that somebody walks onto that beach with, it's magnetic when people are so desperate, nervous, scared, and it's a safe place.
Yeah, Rob, are you also nodding on that? I think it's quite an interesting observation.
Yeah, it's a calmness. People are definitely drawn to it. If you look like you chilled, people want to be around that guy who looks chilled. And naturally they'll come to you. That's why I always say, you just chill, people will come to you. If you're running around stressing, you're scrambling, it's not really the way forward to do it. So yeah, she's playing a good game there. Just relaxing, people come to her.
And that was Rob's secret from the very beginning, because Rob, your jokes are not that funny. That's not why we liked you.
Nicole, no, let's not start now. Let's not start.
So Dylan's pointed out something interesting in the chat box. He's saying that what is our take on the Immunity Island twist? You have the Island of Secrets. They've got Immunity Island. What are your thoughts on that? And also, I see there's also a new thing, diplomatic immunity, which I thought was quite interesting.
Rob,
do you want to kick off?
Diplomatic one work exactly? It sounds like you can switch tribes when you feel like it. You can just decide if your tribe loses, you can move to the other one. Is that what it is? Diplomatic immunity.
Nicole, do you want to take a stab at that? I've got a bit of an interpretation on it, but
it was a little bit complicated, I think, to understand initially, and I think we'll see it in action as it unfolds. I was really upset by this because that's what I always thought the Island of Secrets was supposed to be. I mean, why else do you go away to an island for secrets? So that you can have some kind of advantage when you get back. I hardly had positive experiences with the Island of Secrets. And certainly to walk away with immunity, that's why you want to go to an island. That's why it's worth staying away from a tribe. So I think this is season 7 refined.
Yeah, I think it's still a lot more in store for us with that island. That's going to happen there, definitely. But it's a similar thing to Island of Secrets. But I hope that they might just utilize it a bit more.
Rob, I don't know what you thought, but I thought that they should, it's a place where you can actually win friends. And so far, people that are going there, it has such a potential to create divides because you make selfish choices. But if you choose to get tribe advantages or to get things in your possession that you can actually give and build on your social game, I think that would be a really smart way to use it. I don't know.
One thing I can see coming with this season is that they are going to destroy any potential family bonds that we had. This is, if you look at how they're playing on day one, the way they Chappie lying like blatantly. People are out there to play and they're playing hard. The blind side we saw today. This is going to be an insane season. If this is how they start off, imagine how they will become when they get numb. Eventually, we also got numb, and these people are day 3 and they're behaving like that. It's a free fall. It's going to be a circus. It's the best thing you've ever seen.
I agree with you. You know what? And this is what I said from the beginning. People are so sensitive. It is Survivor. You're supposed to be brutal. I was a villain for being brutal. It's normal. But can we have a second, please? And Alex, I have to ask a question here. I'm going to pretend that this is my chat. Can we have a moment for why they are wearing jackets? We were put into Samoa in cyclone season with shorts, okay? In the rain for days on end. Thank you.
They all have proper raincoats.
Yeah, you mean they're getting sort of the sort of more what's it called?
The soft
bougie
life.
Survivor sort of experience, are they?
This is the soft life.
Oh wow! Tell me about this numbness that you guys speak of. Is this sort of like what kind of psychological evolution is this?
it's perfectly natural. You kind of you're a bit nervous yourself. You don't want to get too much out there. You're overthinking, how am I going to be perceived? You know, you don't want to play too hard too fast. But these castaways don't have that. They are coming in there just guns blazing. We formed a certain sense of numbness to it when we got deeper into the game. We had been in that game for so long that we kind of forgot about the cameras. We didn't even care. They didn't exist to us anymore. We didn't care. It was as if we were never going back home. And that numbness is formed over time. They're walking in there, not giving two. Yeah, they're just going, and it's incredible. I love that, and that shows me potential for incredible gameplay, huge blind sides, and I mean the gloves are off for the season, clearly.
Another interesting question here. Do you think Teresa was isolating herself or taking a step back to observe? I'm trying to remember who Teresa is. Yeah, I've got a bit of a
yeah, so I remember her clearly. She was sent to the immunity island, was digging in the sand. And
yes, that's right. That's right. The marketing lady.
I think that it was her decision. I think it was her conversations, her, privately on camera, that she was isolating herself, that she might not really choose those people normally to hang out with, that she didn't love that tribe. But, I also think she's playing a smarter, quieter game right now, because there's a lot of words being thrown around by a lot of loud people. So I wouldn't call it too quiet just yet.
Rob, your take on it?
Look, Teresa is obviously, she was sent there because the other tribe could see that she was potentially one of their weakest players. Now, if I want to make sure that you don't strengthen your tribe, I will make sure that you can't vote off your weakest player, because I'd rather have her by your side in immunity challenges, because obviously she doesn't make you as strong. So they actually sent her there knowing very well that she was potentially on the chopping block, and they at least perceive her to be someone who could be bringing the tribe down, especially physically during challenges. So they protected her, and I would have done the same thing. I also would have sent her to the immunity island. But I think she has a lot more to give than you realize, because it's usually like that. On the surface, that's the thing about Survivor. You can never judge someone on the surface. You need they can pull out things that you'll never believe if given time. So now she's been granted the gift of time, which had she not been sent to Immunity Island, she might not have had, and she might have been taken out first episode. So at least she has a chance to flourish now and show her true strengths.
Well, you just started watching. You're watching Rob and Nicole from season 7 of Survivor, Island of Secrets. We're busy doing a bit of a Survivor Council, recapping the first first episode of season 8, a 90-minute humdinger from the Wild Coast in South Africa, and quite exciting this time as well, Nicole and Rob, that Australians are going to be aiming.
Is it the connection problem on my side, Nicole? I can see you fine.
I think it's Alex's connection, and I did kind of get the question. This is the first time that Australians are going to get to stream our season. So that's very cool. Yeah, it's going global, which is amazing.
Amazing. So they're watching this with us, same schedule, everything.
Not underground vibe, properly watching it. So yes.
Oh wow, none of those illegal links that people are apparently watching. Me, I know nothing about such things, but
I mean,
has it. There's links that got, but hey, me, I don't know anything about such things. Eh?
I mean, I didn't ever watch Survivor from anywhere else in the world until now.
Yeah. You must pay your Mnet. You must pay your Mnet subscription, then you can watch Survivor. I don't know anything else about any links.
But yes, covered.
All right. So here we go. Maurice is asking, do you think it was a smart decision to go for the immunity necklace instead of supplies for your team, or does it put a target on your back?
I rate target. And look, unless you know that you are someone who is physically weak, because when the game first starts, the natural way people think is, let's keep the strong players for challenges. So unless you know that you are literally probably the weakest person there, I would never ever suggest going for that thing, because now, yes, he's played it, but now he's already isolated or segregated himself from the tribe. There's something called social capital there. He's burning his social capital by showing that he's out there thinking for himself instead of getting stuff for the tribe. He's running around fetching his own immunity items. And for someone who is physically, strong and he looks fine, he was not on the chopping block. But when he did that, they had already put something on his back.
Yeah, my projection is I think Dino might be next to go because of that decision. Literally just a target on your back. I like that though, Rob. Social capital. That's a very good term for this time.
It's quite funny as well because Dino runs sort of a game business. He's in the business of playing games, so I thought he would be right on top of us.
Yeah, this is not PlayStation. This is Survivor, guys. This is next level gaming.
A different business altogether.
When you put that much pressure on yourself so early in the game, it just comes through such insecurity. And yeah, he's made some really poor social moves really early on.
Yeah.
Well, Rob, you touched on it as well now. You said, obviously, if you're not physically strong enough, you might put a target on your back if you're not great at the physical challenges. Is there a way of still getting through this game, even if you're not sort of jumping through hoops at every single challenge and bringing your best game along?
You know, what I've noticed is that early on in the game, people, they want to keep their tribe strong. So in general, this is again very general, they will hold on to the strong players, the people who are assets at challenges. And I mean, we did see Jason, people who they thought he was a machine, which is why they sent him up to go and run very early in that thing. However, he didn't prove to be that effective, unfortunately. So already they saw that, okay, maybe he's not as physical as we thought he was. So initially, people focus on strength because they want those strong players to help them in the challenges, because it's a tribe challenge. But the second we start getting closer to merge, those are the exact same individuals now who become problems, targets, because you don't want to go up on them one-on-one. So if you're a weaker player, you technically just have to survive the first, I say 5-6 tribal councils, then the target sort of alleviates off your back and you can shift it to the stronger players because they're the ones who will be taking individual immunities now. So the complete tide shifts eventually, very quickly, actually.
Nicole?
Yes, I 100% agree with you, Rob. And that's certainly what we saw in our season. But for some reason, like I said earlier, in this one, it is gloves off. And everybody's going for the strong players right off the bat. And when you should be trying to build a strong tribe because you've got some dark days coming, you need to win some challenges, you need to get some assets in your camp. They're not thinking like that at all. It is the biggest threat right off the bat. And yeah, it's game time.
When the guys set up their house and it started pouring and it was just looked horribly miserable at night there, did that bring back some memories from your season of Survivor? What is that like, that first night, when you're having to deal with the reality of a couple of days and weeks in that kind of condition?
Yeah, we actually have some group chats going on the side with the people from our season, and we're actually sitting there almost like clammy hands and shortness of breath and like a little bit of PTSD. I hate to be dramatic, but it takes you right back. And those are some dark, cold nights. And this is the thing that Survivor doesn't have time for, is to show you just how hardcore it really is. It is tough. And this is only beginning for these guys, but it is cold. It is dark. It is uncomfortable, although they have jackets. So we don't feel too sorry for them just yet.
Look, yeah, no, the jackets definitely make it a bit bearable. But I know that first night, I remember, Nicole, like, we were stuffing around the first day, sort of building a shelter, talking there, still a bit nervous, the cameras. But then that first night was so bad. We got so wet, it was so cold. We were literally cuddling each other, pretty much in tears, trying to just keep the warmth there. And it went on all night. I mean, I literally thought that surely now the cameramen are going to step in and they're going to put us somewhere dry, because we are borderlining hypothermia right now. But they did nothing. They left us out there, and we learned a very good lesson, because the next morning we woke up and we whacked that shelter so well, because we realized that the Survivor is real. We're on our own. So the first night is a beautiful reality check for all of them, to realize that this is the real thing. No one's going to help us here. If we don't make the shelter solid, we are going to feel it at night. And you really do. You seriously do. You can't explain the kind of... We were in tears, I mean, crying like babies. That's how cold it was.
Even Robbie was crying.
I wasn't crying. You guys.
It was raining, so it looked like you were crying. It was just the rain.
Oh, yeah, it was the rain. Yes, of course. That's what
I mean, for all those who are big fans of the show around the world will know that Flint is always the big thing that comes up right in the beginning. And maybe for us who are sitting, well, depends if you've got load shedding, you might also see the value in Flint. But I mean, for the rest of us, it normally doesn't seem like such an important thing. What does it mean on the show itself, getting that Flint and getting some fire going? Is that sort of like night and day?
Yes, well, ask Rob about the time he lost his Flint. It was almost the end of Rob. So yeah, Flint is life. Fire is life.
Yeah, no, it's a game changer. I mean, the heat, fire has a way of just boosting everyone's morale very quickly. And I'm glad Chappie's gave it a shot. But yeah, I'm prepared for next time. I'll be able to start without a Flint.
Well, there you go. Brilliant. Some love from Teresa to you guys. Love you, Rob and Nicole. Then another interesting question. How emotionally draining is it to face all of these physical challenges and not have any real emotional stability in terms of people you can trust? I quite like that question.
That's a really good one. Yeah. Robbie, you wanna hit on that one first?
Yeah, look, when you're in that environment, you're thrown in the deep end where you're technically somewhere where you can't trust someone, or you shouldn't supposed to trust someone. However, when you do find someone that you just have that connection with, you feel it. You feel it. It's nothing anyone can say to you. It's something you feel on other people's energy. You hold on to that person for dear life. And that is, the main reason why I held on to Nate so much, because I had no one. I had no family, no friends, no one to talk to. And here I find this guy. He's also into video production. We have so much in common, similar age. And that's why you hold on to a person who you feel you can trust so hard. Nicole and I had the exact same thing. It was an unspoken sort of trust and bond. But again, it's a survivor. You can never 100% trust it, but your gut tells you, look, if I fail trusting this person, then I was beaten fair and square, but I'm going to just trust this person. And you need to have someone you can put your trust into. You can never be alone in that place.
Yeah, to watch them actually investing their energy in those challenges as well was hectic, because everybody's judging you for your individual performance, and you have to give absolutely every cell of energy in your body, and you've never done that before, and you're also malnourished. Well, not at this point, but they're hungry, they're stressed, everybody's talking and strategizing, and then you're on that block and you've got to go and perform. It's a whole different type of stress.
We've also seen tribes get into these, I suppose, maybe not so weird situations where they go from one loss to the next loss to the next loss, and it's almost like a downward spiral. I mean, that must have a massive impact on everybody on that tribe. And is it so easy to just snap out of it and get back on track and actually win the next challenge, or does it really become like the pits?
We actually had that exact problem with us. Sawula was physically the strongest tribe there by far. However, we were just losing the first 3 episodes, I think it was,
Yeah, it was very tough on morale for the group, and then you sort of lose a little bit of hope, but it also fires you up, I think, to fight harder and push harder, and then when that victory does come, it's that much sweeter. But I'll be interested to see what happens next time, if the tables are turned or if this continues.
But you know what those failures did for us, though? Psychologically, it was battle hardening us. We were getting ready. We had walked into so many tribal councils, but that by the time CPay, for example, walked into tribal councils with other people who have never seen tribal council, she mopped the floor with them. And it also then strengthened our bond. It forged our bond because we suffered together. The Sawula suffered together for days. We lost everything we did. But that brought us stronger together, so that we were able to, when the time was right, go out there and conquer, divide and conquer, but still stay Sawula loyal. And so I think I actually appreciate those early losses, because it made us stronger.
That's so true. It's almost the school of, you can call it the school of tribal council. And every semester at tribal council, you learn a whole new set of lessons, and we were upskilled pretty quick in the beginning on how to deal with tribal council and how to be really efficient with strategy talk as well before tribal council. That's not an easy thing to get that right and make that a well-oiled machine without over strategizing, without having the wrong discussions or seeming like you're nervous. That's a whole art that you develop when you do it, actually.
Correct.
Well, Nicole and Rob, I can't believe it. Our 30 minutes are almost up, and it's been really brilliant catching up with you guys and getting a little bit of a season 8 first episode recap of what your thoughts are. I'm hoping we can do it somewhere down the line, maybe halfway, and maybe we'll do it just before the final. I think it'd be great to kind of see how this develops. It's always tough in the beginning, but I think once the characters have matured and grown and we know who's who, I think it'll be quite a cool conversation to pick up on. But I really thank you for taking the time to be on here, and to everyone who's watching, for pitching in and for sharing your questions. And I look forward to a really, really good season ahead.
Us too. Yeah, cracker.
Thank
Thanks for
you
having
so
us,
much
Alex.
for having us, Alex. We'll keep
Thanks,
in touch.
guys. Stay safe. Yeah, absolutely. Go well. Chat to you soon. And if you've been watching, thank you so much for joining us. And we hope to catch you on one of these again soon.